Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooters gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I fall, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. Grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only the best. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me again. So I realized there was a press conference going on and I said, I'm going to go live. So the press conference has ended. However, we are going to watch it in its entirety. I will be skipping over where they give the information in Spanish. So it should be about 20 to 25 minutes. I have not watched this, so I don't know what the updates are. So we will be learning those together. I'm just going to give a blanket hello to everybody. So again, thank you everybody for being here. I do appreciate it. And we are going to take a listen.
Angeles, we step up to challenges and we address them. 24 hours ago, we announced there was a killer on the loose. Now he is in custody.
Right? Oh, snap. Oh my gosh, I just got chills. I didn't realize that they were going to announce that they had the suspect in custody. That is fantastic.
Right after the conclusion of yesterday's press conference, my office was able to convene more than 400 people representing city departments, housing service providers, regional agencies like the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority, and elected officials at the city and county level to ensure that they would go out about the threat facing our unhoused community and let individuals know of the threat. Let me be clear, this rapid mobilization was the result of relationships that have been forged and strengthened over the past year as we work to confront the homelessness crisis. And when we come together to address an emergency and another challenge emerges, we are able to act quickly and effectively to solve whatever comes our way. The city moved immediately to get the word out to our unhoused neighbors in housing networks and worked to ensure that our centers stayed open. Metro leadership also worked with us to ensure that Metro homelessness teams got the word out to unhoused Angelenos on Metro trains as well as buses about what was going on and ways to stay safe. We were in touch with service providers throughout the city to reach their clients and to get the message to them. And we called on all Angelenos to help us. And we continue to do this because many people, thousands of people who are unhoused, have friends and relatives who are housed, who might be watching this broadcast right now, and they are in contact with them periodically. And we want them to communicate to them. And now we stand here today, and I can tell you that together we did this. The individual responsible for these horrific crimes was found, caught, and will now be held accountable. I again want to thank the LAPD and our law enforcement officials for their vigilance. On behalf of a grateful city, we thank you. Let me now introduce District Attorney George Gascon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to begin by thanking the mayor for her incredible leadership in this area. As Chief Moore indicated, it was bringing the city together that not only created an avenue for people to feel protected, but it provided us with an avenue to make sure that very vulnerable communities in our county and our city were going to have an opportunity to have a safe shelter for the night. I want to thank Chief Moore, who called me immediately as soon as he realized that there appeared to be a series of killings that were perhaps committed at the time by the same person, and my team, who immediately came up and connected with the LAPD in order to make sure that this individual will be held accountable, and the Sheriff Department, all the work that they did with the earlier apprehension in Beverly Hills, and then our partners in the federal government who came in and put all the resources together in order to take us to what we are today. This case is an illustration of when the entire government family comes together, we can get things done, and it is for the betterment of our community. This person that allegedly killed one person every day for 4 days, just think about that for a moment. The day of his fourth killing, he was arrested. The swift actions of law enforcement undoubtedly saved lives this week. Chief Moore quickly developed a task force and connected with law enforcement agencies throughout the region to share the knowledge and the resources. And together we were able to solve the case and put our mind at ease. Without the collaboration and tenacity of the law enforcement agencies that came together, we would have undoubtedly faced even more lives lost and families enduring the unbearable grief. On Monday, once the case is fully presented to our Major Crimes Division, and they will engage in a thorough analysis of the case. As I mentioned earlier, they have been working with the investigators since very early, so we have a very good understanding not only of the case, but the evidence available. This case also will be submitted to our ACE committee for consideration of filing of special circumstances of the multiple murders and the murder in the course of a robbery. As we approach the holiday seasons, let us take a moment to reflect on the fragility of life and the impact a single individual has had on 4 families who will not have an opportunity to celebrate with their loved ones. Thank you so much, and I look forward to any questions that anyone may have. And now, sure.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here to cover this very important story. So as I begin, what I want to do is just quickly summarize, because last Thursday at the Sheriff's Department, we had a presser that talked to the arrest of the individual that we're talking about today, that unfortunately committed the murders here in our city of Los Angeles. Mr. Nicholas Sambolin was a 42-year-old resident of San Dimas, and he was the victim of a robbery, and unfortunately, he was also murdered. Within 24 hours of that robbery murder occurring, after some very extensive and just outstanding detective work by the members of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, through a combination of interviews, videos, and other investigative techniques, they were able to identify a vehicle that they believed was used in this murder. Within hours, they placed the vehicle license plate number in a law enforcement system. And hours after that, members of the Beverly Hills Police Department were able to do a traffic stop and detain the suspect that we're talking about. Sheriffs, investigators, homicide investigators responded to Beverly Hills, and that was on Wednesday night. And by Thursday morning, very early Thursday morning, they placed Jared Joseph Powell under arrest for murder and robbery. At that time on Thursday, I told you that a firearm had been recovered in the vehicle that the Beverly Hills Department recovered. That's the weapon that Chief Moore talked about a little bit ago, as he described kind of a play-by-play of what's happened during this case. And as I summarize, just a couple of things, and it's been stated here before or already, the teamwork here was amazing. The communication, the coordination. Again, we're really proud of all the work that's been done here by multiple agencies. But as I represent the Sheriff's Department, the response and the relentless investigation that led to the video and everything else to get this individual off the street, and then their expertise to put it into what is basically an automatic license plate reader system. And we know there's controversy out there about the usage of this system, but let me tell our community something. If we did not enter that plate into this system, this individual that we believe is responsible for at least 4 murders may have been out there and reoffended. And he was victimizing, as was said, some of our most vulnerable community members. That didn't include the murder in San Dimas, who was, by the way, one of our county employees that we're just absolutely heartbroken over. So the chief of Beverly Hills can talk about the technology that's used there. All of us in law enforcement look at what they're doing there and see it as a model if we want to reduce crime and prevent things and tragedies like this that have occurred. The last thing before I give up the microphone to the next speaker is I do have a flyer that will be provided to all of you. And this is a bulletin that the LA County Sheriff's Department has already put out to other law enforcement agencies. Because as we stand up here and we talk about the fact that this individual has been arrested and he's sitting in jail, which is a good thing, we want to make sure that anybody who may have been a victim of this individual, that they come forward and notify your own police department, whether it's Los Angeles Police Department, any of our partner agencies, or members of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We want to hear from you. And this is why we're not putting out more details. Please understand that as the DA sits up here and he's going to get this case, as prosecutors will get this case on Monday, the next objective is to put this guy away at minimum forever, because he doesn't deserve to be out on the street. So those are the end of my comments. I'll be around at the end for any questions that may come up. And now I'm honored to introduce the chief of the Beverly Hills Police Department, Mark Steinbruck. Thank you.
And excuse me, just to clarify, because I know I was a little confused too. I did hear that they have had this suspect in custody since Thursday. Today's Saturday, and they were still allegedly looking for said suspect. They did announce just about an hour ago that they had the suspect, 33-year-old Jared Joseph Powell of Los Angeles, in custody. He is also suspected in a follow home killing in San Dimas. So, why they didn't tell the public sooner, I do not know. Hopefully they will clarify that. But there is a suspect in custody for the 4 murders now.
Thank you. Good afternoon. So I just want to reemphasize what's been said about partnerships. I think the regional partnerships between our local, state, and federal partners is outstanding in this county and in this region. And no one can do it by themselves. So it's been huge when crime crosses borders. As you probably know, in Beverly Hills, we have a real-time watch center. We fly a drone every day. We have 50 ALPRs, automated license plate readers, around the city in strategic locations. And we have over 2,400 cameras that are monitored 24 hours a day and kept recorded for over a year. So we're able to provide a lot of information sometimes on different crimes. In this case, on Wednesday night at about 9:15, the suspect vehicle entered our city. ALPR alerted the real-time watch center. And between the great job of our dispatchers and our virtual patrol officers, they were able to direct officers in to where the vehicle was, stop that individual and take him into custody safely, which I think is very important because he wasn't complying initially with the instructions the officer gave him. So I'm just very proud of my officers and my staff and thankful for all the great partners we have up here. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Frank Carrillo, soy detective.
Okay, so at this point, I am going to just fast forward a little bit to the point where they do questions. Let me just see.
Con organización.
Okay, so I have to get to where the... Here we go.
Okay, we'll take a few questions if you'd like. See if, good afternoon. Can you talk a little bit again about where the connection came? What happened exactly between the arrest, detention, and the connection to the 3? So I'll speak solely to our investigation and the beginning investigation by South Bureau Homicide and Central Bureau Homicide. As those investigators worked, they realized that there was connectivity. The 2 homicides that occurred in Central Bureau, one on Monday morning and one on Wednesday morning, they recognized lone individuals asleep in a relative area that's not frequently populated by homeless individuals, approached, shot a single time, and casings that ballistically interested us as far as similarities. With that, realizing quickly South Bureau had a case very similar in its makeup and the day before. And so they brought that information to the department's attention through our leadership. And upon being briefed by this on Thursday morning, it was a matter of assembling a task force under the leadership of Robbery Homicide and Chief Pitcher as our chief of detectives, and then gaggling together resources from both our forensic services, our technical services, and then our federal partners, as well as our local agencies, to begin the work of identifying the person responsible. Fortunately, through their investigative actions, they were able to identify the vehicle that was at all 3 locations. I'll not go into the details of how they did that, but that they were able to identify that vehicle as being present at all 3. As we said yesterday, we released images, rudimentary images, but nonetheless, at that point, we had not identified that vehicle. But through their investigation and hours that flowed from that, they were eventually able to identify this 2024 BMW M440. And upon doing that, also began efforts to locate that and learned that it was in the sheriff's custody for the San Dimas homicide. That's when the connection, now Sheriff Luna and myself had already spoken. We had already done our outreach for any similar events that may have connectivity, but our detectives worked with the sheriff's detectives quickly to discover that Chief Sainbrook's folks had made that arrest on Wednesday night, that there was a weapon inside there. And then that began the work of, was that the same weapon that we had tied the 3 murders ballistically as having been connected? So with that, that has happened over the last essentially 16 hours through the work overnight into the morning to scientifically tie microscopic examination of the casings and that weapon to being the murder weapon for all 4 homicides. So that's essentially the path to this point. I want to again thank the men and women of our science investigation division. They worked through the evening into the morning hours. They have a quality assurance that their work was blind tested, and it was through a systematic documentation and authenticated that it was in fact the murder weapon, and has met that standard needed for us to make such a conclusion.
So the car really brought it all together.
Car was one of the elements that brought it together. But I really think what brought it together was the use of the aggressive work of the homicide detectives within the sheriff's department. They recognized that the tools that they had at their disposal, and they pursued the use of those tools to follow the path of where this victim in San Dimas had come from. And in recognizing today that there were surveillance and cameras and so forth in place, they're able to capitalize on that to identify that vehicle. And then again, the safety net of what technology can provide us today for safer communities is critical. Had they not had those access to those tools, this individual, I am convinced, would still be moving about the city and the region and killing individuals, innocent individuals, helpless individuals. And so it can't be stated more strongly that while we recognize that there are civil liberties and freedom of, and the right to have privacy, society also needs to protect itself from individuals who would prey upon others. And the use of license plate readers, the use of closed circuit cameras in public places with the right governance and the right controls can be critical and the linchpin to help us have a safer society.
Sheriff Luna, I have a question for you.
Just a second.
About the, if you had any data about how many people utilized the shelters last night and how many people heeded the warning?
We don't have that data yet, but we will. No, we don't have that data now. I'm not sure if our chief of homelessness knows. No, we don't know that data. But I do want to tell you, though, that those centers are still open, and we anticipate family members still talking to folks. And if people come inside, that is our overall goal. And so for those people that come inside, they will be housed. So we can give a full report on Monday, but we don't have the data right now.
Sheriff Luna, Jacqueline Lee with ABC News. What makes you believe there are additional victims out there?
Although I don't have any information right here in front of me that there is, the possibility absolutely exists. If you think of the crimes that this individual had committed, we're talking about 4. Based on his criminal history, he didn't just start doing this a week ago.
No,
So
I agree.
This is why we're using you as a partner to make sure that with his picture and this information, if anybody believes that they may have been a victim of a crime and this individual perpetrated it, you need to contact us right away. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that if he did commit other crimes, that he's held accountable for each and every one of them.
Has he made any sort of comment since coming into custody?
I'm not going to get into those details at this point. Again, as much as all of us want to share with you, at the end of the day, we turn the case over to the district attorney, and we hope that it goes as great as it does. And that means that the man gets a fair trial with a jury, and we're not trying the case right here in front of the cameras.
Sure. Can you talk about any possible connection between any of these people and how?
I can just, in regards to the murder robbery that occurred in our jurisdiction, our detectives with the investigation at this point don't believe there's any connection between this suspect and the victim that he murdered in the city of San Dimas.
Chief, is there any concern that any other violent crimes against the homeless people in the city, unfortunately, murders, assaults, also connected to this individual?
Oh, absolutely. We are very concerned, as the sheriff has indicated. This individual has a criminal history. He is a convicted felon. He has violence in his background. We'll not go into the details of that. That violence is not most recent. It's some years back. But how does a man go out and brutally and ruthlessly shoot and kill a homeless individual who is sleeping on a couch in South Los Angeles? How does the following day he go out and brutally shoot and kill? I watched the video yesterday.
Oh.
It was chilling. And I've been in this work for 4+ decades. The cold-blooded manner in which he walks up and shoots this individual without any hesitation, no interactions, and then leave that location. And we now know to follow home an individual, a father of 2, who's simply charging his car, and to follow that individual home has been related and shoot and brutally murder that individual over a robbery senselessly.
Ugh.
And at the same time, less than 24 hours later, commits his 3rd murder in the city of Los Angeles. So did this person start Sunday morning, and this is the limit? It begs the question, and we're asking the public to recognize, and this will be something that we'll work with our federal partners as well, to see what his movements are, what his life patterns are, how did he exist, and where did he exist, and is there a path of destruction behind him that we have not yet determined. We do know this: he's in our custody, he's in the sheriff's department's custody. It's now upon the district attorney and the U.S. attorney, as they work together, to determine what is the best course of action to ensure that he is not back in our streets ever again.
Can you elaborate on his criminal history?
I've just did. No, I'm going to limit it to that.
I know you said you don't have a motive, but the homeless victim's also involved.
No, we have no indication that there is any interaction other than just the use of a firearm to shoot and kill these individuals. With absolutely, at least the murder that I saw, again, this individual, this poor individual, had just pushed a shopping cart to that location, had literally sat down and leaned against the wall, and was apparently sleeping when this man walks up, shoots him immediately, and turns around and walks away. We will do that later today. We just want to make sure that we had the next of kin, the family members that were made aware. And I want to verify that. And as of yesterday afternoon, we had not. And I'll follow up with our media relations, and we'll update that bulletin with that individual's name. We have worked with the coroner's office. We do have his identity. Yes. At this point, our investigation has identified this individual we believe responsible. But again, we are hours into this investigation in regards to once we've discovered his involvement. And I do not want to limit where this investigation takes us. And should we find other individuals that are involved or somehow conspired and engaged themselves in this activity, we will aggressively pursue them just as we have this individual.
Do you have more details on the weapon that was recovered? Was it registered to him? Did he obtain it legally? Do you have any of that information?
We do not believe that the firearm that's in custody, well, first of all, he is a convicted felon. So our first impression is that he would be a prohibited possessor. And as to the manner in which he acquired that weapon, it is not a ghost gun. It is a serialized weapon, but we'll let the investigation continue to work as to how he obtained that weapon and whether it was lawfully obtained. Certainly from the source, but he certainly, by being a convicted felon, should not have had it in his possession.
What specific gun was it?
I'm sorry?
What kind of gun was it?
Firearm. We're not going into the details of it. As a reminder, we still do not know the extent of his involvement in other crimes. So there are aspects of investigations that we'll not share with the public because we don't want to compromise any of those other investigations. So allow us to have that information. It will become part of the public record once the district attorney's office and should the U.S. attorney's office pursue charges, all that becomes part of the record. But right now, our investigators need some space. And portions that are key elements of this investigation that we not discuss publicly at this moment. But give us some time. We're not trying to shield this from you, other than we're trying to not compromise our investigative efforts.
Chief, you just said it based on your 40+ years of experience. Unless he actually comes out and tells you why he did what he did, can you connect the dots on a motive? What drives someone to do something like this? He targets a father who is, just going home, and then he targets 3 homeless individuals. Can you kind of write this in your mind?
I can't write it. I can't write murder in my mind in any instance, though we recognize there's family violence and jealousies and none at all. I mean, you recognize the identity of these three victims that in the city of Los Angeles. They were male, but they were varying ages from 37 to 62. They were male, they were Hispanic and Black. And then to cross that with a follow home robbery and murder with a man in a 2024 BMW who's lived in a home or in a residence here in Los Angeles that the Sheriff's Department has already conducted their investigation of. That is, it is a striking set of circumstances that is puzzling. And we are committed to understanding more about it in the days and weeks ahead to come to terms with it.
Thank you all for coming. That'll be that for questions. If I could have you guys just get camera and mic, proceed to the next room through that door. Any guests that are available for interviews will proceed through that door.
And what's interesting is they had stated they had the photo, but the Beverly Hills sheriff, what I saw, maybe I was looking down, but he never showed the photo of the suspect. So I had gone online to try to find a photo of this Jared Joseph Powell and was not able to. So I am going to check quickly to see, but again, he was 33 years old and he was apprehended within the last 24 hours. Hey, Queen Bella. And I don't see anything. It's so bizarre because usually they do show photos of those arrested, but I do not see. Let me just look at. Yeah, so, but the important thing is that he's in custody, they have the weapon, and just like I believe it was LAPD had stated, he didn't just go out on Sunday and murder 4 people in cold blood. In my opinion, there has to be something in between his earlier criminal record and his current criminal record. What that is, I don't know. But, and I did want to thank Sinner for gifting a membership earlier, who I believe, let me just go up, was Cammie, had, was gifted that, and Thor, thank you so much, and Queen Bella, congratulations, welcome to the Stoners. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. If I do find out any more information, I would most likely put it on my community post or update you tomorrow during my True Crime and Story Time, which is scheduled for 1:30 Eastern Time. I will also be back very soon because we have not played Words on Stream in some time. So I hope everyone can join me at 8:30 Eastern Time for Words on Stream, and then you will be redirected to AMAX Live, scheduled for 10 o'clock Eastern, where we will play crosswords. So with that being said, I hope everyone has a great rest of your evening. And if I don't see you later tonight, I will see you all on the flip side.